All right, next up, foundation of success number 2. So, I'm kind of doing this series especially. It's number 1 for, I think, people who want to do self-improvement, things that I've learned, things that have helped me a lot, as well as number 3, it's good for me. It's good for me to say them out loud. So number 2 today, major pillar for your foundation is a student mentality. This is so key. And it's something when I do interviews for my organization, for my business, when I'm hiring new people, I tell them right away that is one of the most important things. Student mentalities. It's the 2 biggest things I look for is this person got a positive attitude, and is this person got a student mentality? And because if they don't, then I can't, skills can be learned. Anybody can learn skills, anybody can learn new habits, anybody can learn new things, but they have to be willing to learn them. That's the thing. So if they don't have a student mentality, then you can't really mold that person to be better than they can be, better than they are. And it's the same for, if you're watching this for yourself, you have to have a student mentality in everything you do and keep up to date with that all the time. So the way that I say student mentality is, I learned a while ago, a few years ago, a concept called the teachability index. And it's a great way to look at it, a teachability index. And an index goes from scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And the teachability index is like your student mentality index, all right? Like, how much can you learn? So 2 aspects of this teachability index, okay? Say if it's a scale from 1 to 10, and you can rate yourself right now. Number 1, what is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn? What is your willingness to learn new information, to gain new knowledge, to start looking up new information about all subjects of life, about anything? What is your desire to always be in the mode of learning, reading new books, listening to new audios, gaining new information? What is your willingness? Like, how much do you really want to learn, right? How much are you willing to absorb? So that's the first thing. Number 1, willingness to learn. And I want you to rate yourself, scale of 1 to 10, okay? 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Are you, sometimes a lot of people are at a 5, which is fine. I think when I started, I was willingness to learn, around 7. Nowadays, I feel like I'm a little bit higher than that too. I'm always willing to learn new information, so I hope I'm a 10, but there's always room for improvement. Number 2 for student mentality, number 2 is your willingness to change. Willingness to change. This is even bigger, I believe. A lot of people are willing to learn, but very few people are willing to change who they are. We get stuck in the same habits every single day, or we get comfortable where we are in that moment. A lot of us get comfortable. You ever learn something, and then you got comfortable using it? Say it's like a certain batting swing, okay? I remember when I was a kid, this happened to me. I was a pretty good batter. I made all-stars. I was hitting home runs. And my parents wanted me to go the extra mile, and they hired a personal coach for a little bit. And he told me right away, my grip was a little wrong. My footing position was a little off. I need to swing a little better timing. And it was really tough because I had gotten into the habit, and I had gotten, feeling good about a certain habit. I felt good about, hey, I was making home runs, right? But the guy's like, no, you need to change this little thing. But guess what? If you do, you're gonna be that much better. And that happens with a lot of people. You gotta be you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay, get uncomfortable, because that's how you succeed, right? Don't try to just go for where you feel like, oh, okay, I'm good right here. Here's this coasting speed. No, try to start always be thinking of ways to improve that, and that really what it means by willingness to learn and willingness to change. Okay, so rate yourself right now on a scale of 1 to 10, your willingness to learn, number 1, and your willingness to change, number 2, okay? Scale of 1 to 10. So if you say, oh, my willingness to learn is a 10. I'm a total 10. I really want to learn new information. I really want to get better in life. I really want to learn whatever, industry I'm working in. I want to learn everything about it. But I don't want to change anything. Well, guess what? 10 times 0 is still 0, right? And even if it's 10 times 1, that's 1. You got to make sure you're always at a 10 and a 10 student mentality. That's what it means to be changeable, adaptable, being a student, right? there's two aspects, those are the biggest things. Have a student mentality is like, you can rate yourself on a teachability index. How much more, and this changes from day to day, right? I'm the same way. Like, I can't be learning. You keep that in your mindset, but I read books, listen to audios, I'm learning, and try to apply it right away. That's how it really starts getting ingrained in your mind, and you start forming the new habits and cognitions and realizations, and you start changing the way you think and how you act in the day in a better way. So always have at least, you don't have to be perfect. Nobody is. But at least have a willingness. Have the want, the desire that you're always wanting to change for the better, and always the want and the desire that you want to learn a little bit more information. Like I said in previous videos, you're not trying to go total light speed. You're just getting better by 1% every single day. That's it, and that's all anybody can do. If you do too much, you overexert yourself, and you get you drown out, you burn out. But if you take it a little bit, chunking it a little bit every single day with new information, and you're changing your habits little by little, man, you're gonna skyrocket, right? Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. That's the way to do it. So that's today's topic on teachability index and having a student mentality. Having a student mentality is just you're always embracing knowledge. You're always embracing newness, and it can be scary. It's easy to get stuck. It's easy to get frightened about it. But embrace that and use it to your advantage, and always be adding a little bit more value to yourself, and be willing to change. Embrace change every day. All right, guys. I hope that was helpful. These are major keys of foundational aspects that I think are very, very good. And also know that when you're trying new things, newness equals anxiety. It can make anybody anxious. It's tough starting new things. I start new things all the time, and even though I feel like it's a good habit I have, I still get hung up a few times, and it's okay to fall over and make mistakes, but just keep on going and keep knowing and having the confidence that this is leading you down a better path. All right, guys. On the road still. All right. Cheers.